models, and I'm looking at your website. Why can't I see pictures of pretty models?
All right, I started the stream, but it's on the.
Okay. Check your
Hello?
microphones.
Check,
Hello?
check, 1, 2. I think, am I working? I think I'm working. Am I working?
Let's see. Let's find out. In case you can't hear TJ, I'll say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, you're working. You're good.
Oh,
You're good.
hooray. Hooray. Am I flickering? Why am I flickering? What the heck? All right. Oh, hello once again. We are back with all of with our stream. Uh, the
Excellent intro. Excellent intro.
the Nurgle plague has ended. Frank is once again healthy. We are healthy enough to talk on the internet with no face cam. We are here. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
We're back. We are excited to look at more models, look at more news, discuss things in 10th edition and beyond. Frank, how you doing?
I am doing pretty good. I'll say pretty good.
Better.
No, definitely better than last week. Last week was particularly a little rough with. I deal with really bad seasonal migraines, so last week was not great. But it seems since we had the tornado run through our area, everything's a lot better.
Nice. I get headaches too. I've had a headache for about 32 years now.
Okay.
It's Kyle.
Okay. I was like, okay, I'm sensing there's a joke there, but I just don't know the joke.
If you're watching, Kyle, I'm joking. I love you. Yes, but we are glad to be back. We are ready. I have a whole slew of new models to show off that I have finished in the last couple of weeks. And Frank, let's start with you. What have you been up to? Let me see if I can fix this.
Well, hobby-wise, I've only had the one project that I've been working on, which is the same bus that I'm prepping for the Capital Palette competition down at Nova, which is coming up very soon. I've got about 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks left to go before I have to submit that. So, but it's coming along quite nicely.
Excuse my camera, everybody.
We're going for the found footage look.
Yes.
Oh, now we're going for a shaky action cam.
I had to unplug and plug it back in.
I'm just gonna wait for Jason Bourne to come popping through a window now and start slapping you with a magazine or whatever he does.
Yeah. Wait, what?
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 Yeah. Yeah, he beat somebody up with a magazine in one of the movies. Or oh no, he shoved a magazine into a toaster to start a fire. That's what he did. But I'm sure Jason Bourne could beat you up with a magazine if you really wanted to.
Pretty sure Jason Bourne could just beat me up. I don't. Anyway, but yes, you're getting ready for Capital Palette, right?
Yes. So I already got 2
up.
pieces prepped and ready to go. I'm just working on this bust. This is the first bust I've ever painted, so I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's just doing something different and new to work on. Trying to do a number of different things with this, as well as really work on my non-metallic metal technique. I'm also trying to make this a showcase for what I can do in terms of OSL. Be a lot easier if I probably had an airbrush, but I have to do it all by hand with glazing and blending and layering.
I'm pretty sure that's what most of the like higher end painters do anyway, because you can't be as precise, I guess, or they do the airbrush and then they go in later.
It's usually done. What they'll do is I've seen a couple different ways of doing it actually. When you get into some of the higher end stuff, I've seen a lot of professionals or the higher end painters. What they'll do is they'll sketch everything out, kind kind of like a pseudo sketch, pseudo layering process where they'll not quite rough it out, but they won't refine it. But it's more like not quite glazing, just basic layering. And then they'll go in with an airbrush and they'll effectively use the airbrush to do the glazes for them. I've seen that process. And then I've seen it the other way around where they'll use the airbrush to go ahead and get all the larger blends done, transition from the black to the dark to the light, and get that whole transition done, and then go in with a paintbrush and actually do all the refinement that way. Ooh. So there's a couple different ways I've seen it done.
All right. Well, yeah, go any more into this lady? She's looking good.
I'm very pleased with her. I've actually gotten a little more work done on her since I posted this picture. I tagged it for work in progress Wednesday, but it was actually, I got it up late. I didn't get up till Friday. Oh. I know, terrible. But I've gotten a little more work done on her. The blue on the right side, her left side of her face is mostly all in place now. I'm actually just trying to build up the highlights. I've started to work the blue onto the black and yellow cabling. So that is the next step. It's really once I get the OSL done, everything else will come fairly quickly. The right side of her face with that concrete wall in the back is pretty much done. I just got to do a little bit of touch-up work on like the cabling there, just a little bit of highlighting, a little bit of mostly just kind of highlighting and shading on that, and then I got to get the AdMech cog painted up. But probably the major components that are left are getting the light to look like a light, not just some light blue blob on the wall, and then getting all her jewelry done. The jewelry is going to be, it won't take too long, but it's also not going to be super easy. But there's going to be a lot of crystal and gems effects I have to paint in there, so that's going to be interesting. And then, of course, I got to finish up the face. I want to get want to do a little bit more with her eyebrows. I have to get the eyes themselves actually painted, and then I'm going to be adding some complexion in and adding some freckles.
Oh, neat. Well, very cool. I am excited to see how this all turns out.
Yeah, the pictures you're seeing right now, actually, the one picture you can see her side profile. I didn't. That's before I actually refinished that area. You can see like where two different finishes in the paint kind of meet up, which looks a little ugly, but it's actually been refinished, so it's all the same matte varnish now across there. It looks a lot better. And I said the blue is definitely a bit bolder now, a bit brighter, so it's all starting to come together nicely. It's probably a little bit this weekend, and then a lot of time painting next week. That's I'm spending a lot of my free time on.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, she's looking good. I am excited.
Thank you very much.
I am excited to see.
How about you, buddy? What have you been working on?
Well, I actually got to refresh this, because as you were speaking, I was uploading the newest thing that I finished.
Ooh.
I finished this Night Crusader just today.
Are you sure it's a Night Crusader?
I'm fairly certain. You checked it for me, so I'm hoping you are correct.
Oh, I could have gaslighted you, made you say the wrong one.
You might have, and that would be bad because I tagged it as a Night Crusader. So
it's a Night Crusader.
Okay, no, I found it. It's a Night Crusader, guys. For a very, very loyal customer, honestly, he's been giving me a whole bunch of stuff. He also owns the Custodes that I have been working on, and he possibly will be sending me a full Marine army that he wants done in Mantis Warriors. So.
Oh boy,
that's gonna be cool. They're a very drab color. It's green, and it's like a drab green and yellow. Let me pull those up. Actually, Mantis Warriors.
Actually, I love it when Space Marines are painted like that. Where they look more like they have that realistic soldier feel to them, and as opposed to soccer players or football players.
Mantis Warriors. Here we go. Let me see. Yeah, they kind of look like this. Their faceplate is the yellow, and then the rest is that like drab green, and their backpacks are black with black guns.
Yeah, I love. That's one of my favorite color schemes.
Yeah, I'm excited. Plus, he's getting the decals made, so I'm gonna be putting on all those Mantis Warrior decals, which will be cool. I don't know where the Imperium found mantises, but because literally every other species on Earth is dead. But hey, it's kind of like the space sharks. How do they know about sharks? Aren't they all dead? All of our oceans are gone.
Wouldn't it be funny if what they were calling a mantis was actually just some sort of breed of tyrannid that they found on a random planet?
It's a lictor. Or Von Ryan Leaper, because it needed all that Von Ryan, whatever. But yes, I literally just finished today. I finished up the base, which you can see on the bottom here. I gave it a little bit of a water feature, and it's got some foam and stuff, so that came out pretty cool.
How did you do your water effects?
Well, at first I was using regular Vallejo water effects, but it wasn't coming out. It was actually leaking into the base because it's all cork and this hollow. So I went through and where is it? Here we go. So I have Green Stuff World UV resin. So I use that to make the actual water, and then I hit it with. It's a UV flashlight. Also branded by Green Stuff World. Funny enough, if you get it off of Green Stuff World, it's the same price, if not cheaper, than if you get it on Amazon. Because I looked that up. And then I used some Vallejo water texture. Where's the paste? Yeah, the water texture acrylic pastes and white acrylic. So to make the little waves and stuff.
Oh, very cool.
What a little extra. Again, he's a very, very good customer. So and he's been sending me stuff and being very, very good to me. So I made sure I did his base up a little bit more.
I want to say that through all of that, not only did I get great tips on how you handled your water effects, I've also determined that you definitely have grown up near the Philadelphia area.
Oh, my water effects?
Your water.
It's WOODER, water. And this guy's out in Pittsburgh with all the yins. But yes, and I really like how this guy came out. So otherwise, I finished up a whole bunch more Shatterpoint. We have Commander Cody and his clones. I think I'm a little too dark with his skin tone, but he still came out pretty good. Need a little bit more tan, I think. But that's okay.
Actually, I think that's pretty good. I mean, plus also, with your with the way you tend to take your photos, you tend to darken them down a bit. So I'm assuming it probably looks a little bit brighter in person.
Yeah, it is. I don't know anymore. I sent him off already. But the white armor came out a little bit better than the last time, specifically because I used your magic mix. So.
Oh, yeah, magic mix. You know, it's kind of funny. I never realized how much. That was Commander Cody, right?
Yeah, it was Commander Cody.
Yeah, I never realized how much Commander Cody looks like Boba Fett.
Anyway, here's Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I showed off the last time, but we can still take a look. I took the nice pictures. Once again, the white came out a lot crisper than normal.
So, are you using the exact same white ink, or did you use your normal?
The exact same white ink, and I even used it through the airbrush, and it works better.
Oh, fantastic! Glad to hear that white tip's working out for you.
Yeah, I like that. I like this titanium white. I'm gonna have to go get a lot of it. Anyway, also I finished up the Grey Knight commission. Here are the Paladins and Terminators. This first picture's the Terminators. Unfortunately, I sent them all off before getting good pictures of everybody, but much to my chagrin. But here's this is the regular Brotherhood Terminators, and then the Paladins.
Very nice.
You could tell they're paladins because their banner is red and they have things sticking up out of their backs.
Oh, is that the different? Oh, okay, yeah,
That's
that
just how I did
looks.
it.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and I
Oh,
did.
I see. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down here.
Yeah, they don't have the like things coming off the top. And then, yeah, I made their banner red. And then I did something different for their force weapons here because they were all base level. So, but I still needed to pick them out as force weapons. So
Hmm.
I did a little bit of a fade from dark blue to light, and then I just got them in white, and then I did a quick like tag with the like one quick stripe with white down them, as you can see, just to give it more of that like sheen look.
Yeah, you can't tell if they're Grey Knights if they don't have blue Nemesis Force weapons.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Also, you can't really tell in the pictures, but if you see them in person, they all have a bit of a blue tinge to the armor. I mixed blue in with um, their metallics to because he wanted a blue tinge to everybody. So,
Very cool.
and then Django Fett, not to be confused with Boba Fett or Commander Cody or Rex or Gregor or Wolf or
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird too. Jango Fett's armor looks just like Boba Fett's too.
I hate you. Um, then the bodyguard droids. I have no idea what they're actually called, but it's the bodyguard droids. And the Caladiuses that I did. Caladiuses. Caladii?
Oh, oh. Apparently, those bodyguards are actually IG models.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're IG 100 Magna Guards.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Neither did
I didn't know they. I didn't know they were IG models. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I know. So they're assassin droids?
I guess so, technically.
Oh, they're just in the same family. Okay.
This is just a plug for us eventually move into being a Star Wars lore channel.
Yes.
So
Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and everything else. And I really love how these Caladiuses came out. Had to get them right in time for the meta. Now I believe this one with the smaller guns is not the gun you want. You want the other gun, this one with the longer barrels. But I don't think anybody would really be able to tell unless they played Custodes.
yeah, I just had my first match against Custodes this past week. Ooh, boy, was that rough.
And they were real resin, so I was impressed because these are hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
Well, it was. I did actually win the game, but
Oh.
it was like it came down to they're very, very tough. Like the squad of I think they weren't. I can't remember what the unit was because they all looked the same to me. He had a big blob of guys that was being led by Trajan Valoris, and I put a Terminator squad, Magnus, and a Mutalith Vortex Beast into that one unit, and so that's well over 1,000 points worth of units into one unit.
Mm-hmm.
Guard. Oh, there he is. Hi, Josh. So it was a custodian guard, and man, that was they tank hard. Whew.
Yeah. At least they weren't
tank real
Alaris.
hard. Yeah, it was a great game. It came down to at the end of it was, can my one lone Warp Flamer pass his Forp and Vulnerable save, and he did, which allowed me to win the game by 1 point. But if it died, he won the game by like 5.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was a game and a half. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what. Looks like. Well, that's cool. I think did I show Dooku last time? I don't think I showed Dooku last time. Here's Dooku. Did Dooku. I really like how his cloak came out because I don't normally do brown cloaks, and he has a brown cloak because reasons.
It's actually very good. The color palette that you used on that is really makes it look like it's a like an old leather cloak, not coke, old leather cloak.
Yeah. No, I had fun doing him. I like these guys because they're all bigger scale too. So, and
Yeah.
then I think I showed off the Alaris Terminators last time. But yeah, no, I've been busy. I have a whole mess of sisters that I've finished. I just haven't taken pictures of yet. Because that commission is actually almost done. I have like another unit and then the mortifiers that I don't want to touch. They have too much crap on them.
Yeah, that's a very
Sisters issue.
yeah, that's a very engineered model we'll go with. Um, and yeah, I do agree, Josh, on what you're saying about the assassin. If you're an Imperium player and you are not running a Calidus assassin in your every Imperium list that you're writing, I don't know what you're doing.
What are you doing?
Yeah, they're crazy good. Oh my god, they're so insanely good. And the fact that every Imperium army now can have access to a Vect ability is scary.
Ugh. Also, shouldn't they all have that one Inquisitor that makes it so you can't shoot them outside of 18 or something like that?
That would be the case if so artillery is not as prevalent. I mean, obviously there's some armies which are going to run loads of it, like Imperial Guard, but I think there's really only 2 armies that make heavy use of out of line of sight firing, which of course would be most Space Marines are going to be running heavy Desolator Marines, and then Imperial Guard. I could be wrong on that. I'm not saying that I am, but or saying that I'm not wrong on that. But as far as I understand, those are the 2 heaviest artillery style armies right now.
Right. Other than that, I appeared on a podcast this week. I was on with Tryhard 40K. I was on his podcast discussing lore.
Nice.
This week we were talking about what was it? It was perpetuals. What celebrities do we think are actually perpetuals, like today's celebrities, and what do you think they would do in 40K if they existed through the 41st millennium?
Nice.
I found Jack Black because he apparently looks like Paul Revere.
He looks like Paul. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So you're kind of okay. So like truly celebrities who kind of look like historical figures. Okay, I get it.
Was it Nicolas Cage? There's a couple that look like Nicolas Cage. There's always the one where it's Keanu Reeves, stuff like that. Apparently, Bruce Willis looks like General MacArthur. So, my dad looks like General MacArthur because my dad looks like Bruce Willis.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
I will take your word for it. I just posted a link to Tryhard's the episode that you were on in particular.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, if you haven't listened, I've listened to. I actually haven't caught the last episode with you on it yet, but I usually listen to it while I'm painting. It's definitely a very light-hearted podcast. Like you don't go into that for any type of serious lore bombs or lore knowledge.
He's a Bruce Willis variant. That's funny because me and Milo are watching the Loki series, getting ready. Anyway, where'd you put the link? I'll put it in the description.
I will text it over to you so you have it as well. But I posted it in the chat, so that we can go ahead and put that in the description.
Let's see. But yes, otherwise, not a lot else going on. Copy link. There we go. This week.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's pretty much wraps up your week to date, or at least your 2 weeks to date, I should say.
Yes.
Since we missed last week, which I apologize. that I was not available last week. As we said before, I was feeling rather ill and my eyes were bleeding from my skull in terms of dealing with a migraine.
Well, that I mean, yeah, that would do it. Uh, all right. Well, let's take a look at some news. We'll do some news and then we'll head into the minis. What do you think?
That sounds good to me. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with this was the first one I brought up because it's probably the latest thing. There are new Age of Sigmar models. One is an elf, so at least it's not all Stormcast. Hooray!
Oh, these are the characters from the new animation they just did, the Black Talon show, which was very good.
Oh, I'll have to take a look. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, yeah. The reason why there is an Idenith Deepkin in there is she is so basically the Stormcast are all the muscle in this elite. They're basically like an elite task force. That's what I think the Black Talons are called.
Right.
Um, and the female Stormcast with the two axes. She is the main character. Very interesting storyline with her. Which I won't go into any spoilers, but it's say what you will about Warhammer Plus. I do say whenever they do come out with a new show, I will say whenever they do come out with a new show, I always thoroughly enjoy watching it. But the Idenith Deepkin character, she basically is their. So if you think of the Stormcast in this group here as like a bunch of elite task force members and elite soldiers that go out and do clandestine Black Ops style missions, she's like their Q. She will find them their targets. She will scry the future. She will do all that stuff for them, and she also functions as kind of their knowledge base for anything magical.
Until I saw the fish, I thought she was Lumineth.
No, she's definitely Ideneth Deepkin. Not going into any spoilers, because it's Age of Sigmar, and there are, the different factions are organized by order, death, chaos,
And destruction.
Technically all the elves in that setting are all belong to order, including the
Daughters of Cain.
Daughters of Cain, and but Daughters of Cain and Ideneth Deepkin hate each other.
And Ideneth Deepkin don't like Teclis, so
yeah,
they don't like the Lumineth. None of the elves like each other.
No, and there was an episode or two that had to deal with they had to do kind of a political. It was a political mission they had to deal with in terms of the Black Talons had to deal with the Daughters of Cain, and that was interesting, that whole episode. So anyway, I'm just babbling at this point in time. Very very good show, and that's where the models come from.
Yes, try hard. Divorce Rogel Dorn on the bottom right. I could see that. Oh, I like her better with the helmet. Like always, I like them better with a helmet. Yeah, look, helmets. Helmets are cooler. This one only has a hood, but that's okay, whatever. Helmet! Anyway, alright, well, these models are cool. I'm not usually one who's impressed with Stormcast, but, these actually look cool, so... and the elf also looks cool. Or, sorry, the A-elf! So, next up... this is the new Cities of Sigmar formation. That's cool. The Iron Will Great Cannon's really cool looking.
I like the dude on the base that's just taking a swig of some hooch.
Yup. Right there. I think the next one I got... the Rumor Engine. Here we go. This is this week's. That tells me nothing, except that it's Sigmar.
Wow, I think this is the first time you've actually led into one of these, but by saying it's the first time you haven't led off by saying it's orcs.
Well, it's orcs in Age of Sigmar. I just can tell it's an Age of Sigmar, not 40k orcs.
The bodies look like they're melted.
Yeah.
Or like that could just be dirt.
Or they're being slammed into. I don't know. It's
But
weird.
combined with all the other stuff we were seeing with the rose thorn, the thorny rose
Yeah,
vines and stuff like that,
it's probably Night Haunt.
yeah, definitely getting very strong Night Haunt vibes from all these.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the cities of Sigmar. I think they're going off about the little creatures that are just around in it. Yeah. They just have a whole bunch of little creatures. This thing right here, the head, that's weird. I'm used to seeing the fish because of the identity, the snail thing. I don't like it.
Are these supposed to be like homunculi, like familiars? Excuse me, I want to say.
Gargoylians are chimeric critters of indeterminate origin. Gargoylian. Just call them gargoyles. I can't. These words. Anyway.
I think if they called them gargoyles, that'd be pretty confusing.
Listen, they're not Nurglings. Get over it. I'm talking to GW. They're treating them like they're like Nurglings or Snotlings, and they're fun, but they're not.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I do appreciate the tiny Spinosaurus here, though. Even though it's incorrect. Here we go. Here's the full. This is supposed to be the big. Here's the range. Yeah. Gargoyle is trademark. I don't care. This must be one of their big new characters. She's cool. On a palanquin. The heck's her name? Pontifex Zenestra. Neat.
I'm getting very strong Inquisitor Karamazov vibes.
Yeah. They're really going for like dark and grungy in the Cities of Sigmar. Like I like it, but man. The Great Cannon, like we were talking about, he is drinking some hooch. While the other one has like an astrolabe.
Oh, those shells look pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like that it has 3 different fire types, which is neat. And then we have the Free Guild Core. This is like their command squad.
Wait, is that a human? Is that
I think it's a human assassin.
Okay. Well, no, I was looking at the other one that seemed like it had a zombie there with it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I like the doctor, though, with the doctor mask and the bone saw. Bone
that's pretty
saw
cool.
is ready.
Oh, the memes.
And the assassin is neat.
That is, yeah.
And then this is just a dude with a banner and a dragon dog. I mean, I'm all about dogs, so. Cavalier Marshal, this is another hero. Not as cool as the Bretonian we saw, but, you know, he's still cool. He has just as much unnecessary garbage on him as the Bretonian, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that is an insane amount of detail.
Like, it's cool. It looks cool. I never want to paint it. And again, that Chimera. Oh, God, it's so cool. And it's a thick book. That's a Space Marine thickness book. All right.
Isn't there? Do they have a pretty large line coming out? Or
yeah, no, they have a big line. So let's see in this picture here. You can see. So they have the gunners up front here. They have the infantry unit. They have the cannon. They have the knights over here. Back up over here. There's the command group we saw in this article. There's the Pontifex, the lady on the palanquin. This like wizard, this fire wizard dude. The Chimera, and there's a couple other things too. Yeah, the Free Guild Marshal on foot. There's a whole bunch of stuff. They're getting like a complete relaunch. Plus, they still have all the old elves and dwarves and stuff. Well, not all of them, but a bunch of them.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, next up we have the Lancer coming out. I think it came out. It's cool.
I think this is the pre-order announcement.
Yeah. Which
So,
means I have a feeling they're just going to lump that into the codex now, honestly. If it's plastic.
uh, I think so. Yeah. Is that those aren't new abilities they're posting there for the knights in that article, is it? Or
No,
is it?
no. It's just talking. It's their
Oh,
like
okay.
stratagems and stuff. And this is the oath ability, their army rule. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're just
That's
reposting it to show how the lancer can fit into that stuff.
yeah, yeah. And they're just choosing to show off the not so good oath ability.
Mm-hmm. And Heresy Thursday, because now Epic 30K means they don't have to worry about Horus Heresy ever again. Solar Auxiliary. That's what it feels like anyway. They're just like, you know what? We don't need to do anything new for Horus Heresy. We're just gonna do stuff for the little Horus Heresy.
Well, I mean, if they can resell you the same units that you already have, but at like 1/10 the scale, why not?
And the same price. I mean, these are cool. These are like it is neat to see it on a bigger scale. But, just they're just showing the different things you could get.
It is pretty cool. I mean, I think it's neat that they're bringing back Epic. It's just, it was never anything that ever excited me, though.
Yeah. Now, War Master. There we go. The 40 Years of Warhammer, the first loyalist Primarch in Warhammer 40k. Girly Man. Model still holds up. I still think it's a good model. Again, there's way too much crap on his armor. Like, too much filigree, but other than that, he's a little bulky, but...
Well, I personally feel like a model like this or a character like this is definitely somebody that is, worth over engineering just a bit.
No, and I agree. This is just a painter's perspective about if I had to paint it.
I know that if I was a commission artist, or if I was still taking commissions, and somebody handed me this and said, "Hey, I want you to paint this with non-metallic metals and all this stuff," I'd be like, "No,
No, here you go. Take this back."
yeah, unless you want to pay me $1,200 to paint a single miniature."
For real though. But yeah, they're just going over him and the other Primarchs that have come out, except for Magnus. Magnus is not in here.
I was about to say, where the heck is Magnus?
The first one to come out. Yeah, I know. After that, after Tiny Horse Heresy. Oh, this is cool. What are they bringing out? We have Gilliman as an action figure and a Redemptor. That's gonna be big.
Yeah, I saw the
bigger than my baby big.
Oh, the Invictus tactical warsuit when they came out with that.
Oh yeah.
That thing. Oh man, that thing was huge.
Yeah, this is gonna be probably just a hair bigger.
I would think it'd be so. I've always heard people talk about it, and if I ever just had so much money to burn that I didn't care about,
oh yeah,
I would. I think it'd be so much fun just to buy some of these Joy Toy figures, and then play like a game of like Kill Team or even like Combat Patrol.
Well, if I got one of the Dreadnoughts, I'd totally get a baby carrier to carry it around, just like right on the front, and just
have a little stroller for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, that's what you do. You tell your fiance that you have to buy this as a toy for your daughter, and that you can put it in a little stroller and have her push it around.
Yeah, but then she's gonna touch it.
You buy two.
Yeah. All right, and we got the rumor from last week, which that is a large hand. Gonna have to guess orcs.
Blood Bowl.
Yeah, Blood Bowl orcs.
I don't get orc vibes from that.
Either that or it's a giant. There has been some stuff that kind of looked like giants recently.
That kind of strikes me as being like a Blood Bowl, like an ogre piece, or maybe even a large beastman.
Maybe. Speaking of ogres, man, I hope they get a range refresh soon. Oh, those are old. And then this week's is the Primarch Patriarch of Gene Stealer cults. The Broodlord.
Just showing off the Broodlord model here.
I guess. Yeah. Well, it's the 40 years of
Oh,
Warhammer is the original one.
oof, that was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at them.
Well, you know what? They still look good. They look good considering the fact they were sculpted out of clay.
Were they?
Yeah, those are definitely hand sculpted models out of clay.
Ugh. I didn't
Yeah,
know
'cause
the clay was what they did.
I don't know if they would sculpt it at a larger scale and then somehow shrink them down. But yeah, that's
I know.
a lot of these miniatures are sculpted out of clay and or green stuff like materials.
I know they used to do the 3-ups where it was 3 times the size and then shrank them down, but patriarch, be strong, armed emperor. But yeah, I think my uncle has this model on the throne. Not gonna lie. Um,
I mean, if I ever had an opportunity to buy a model like that, I probably would just for the collector's sake of having something like
oh,
that.
absolutely. That's why I have every version of Gazgul.
Oh, even the really tiny Gasgul?
Yep, I have them still in a blister pack.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all the white dwarves. I don't have them all yet.
I'm gonna guess that like that old Gasgul model is probably smaller than the current Gasgul's like Power Claw.
Yes. Yes. um, yeah, he's tiny. So anyway, I think that is it. That's all that I saw as far as news. Oh.
Well, there was that one other piece of news we were talking about earlier.
Oh yes, it was the Atomic Mass Games thing with
Well, the other news regarding 40K was, of course, the big controversy that's going on right now with the Battleforge.
Oh right, Battleforge. Oh, that was actually a thing that came up. Because we're gonna have to pay soon.
Yeah,
But they
I
got to
mean,
pay. They to be fair, they said that was gonna happen.
they did say that they were going to happen. I don't think there was. It's not like the whole, making half of the Space Marine Army's legends or, excuse me, effectively making Forge World for the most part unplayable in any type of competitive event. Like they definitely didn't obscure that, or they at least they were very upfront about what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
Um,
I just remember when they first came out with it, they're like, you're gonna have to pay eventually.
I, I now being I'd already subbed to Warhammer Plus, and I feel like you get decent value out of it for the now it's $7 a month. I definitely don't hate it. I mean, I love the shows when they pop out and they come out, and being able to go back and watch them whenever I want to. I sometimes just like to kind of go back and
There it is.
rewatch Interrogator or rewatch the Blood Angels show. Yeah, I really do enjoy them. The Lore Master videos are okay. Battle reports are garbage though. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I don't. I never bothered. I did like the master class.
Yeah, there's some really good masterclass videos on there for the painting stuff. I mean, I can't stop calling them only hands. But I really think that they are making a big. They're missing they're taking a big misstep here in terms of not making the list builder free, because this was my thought on it was all they're really going to do is that people who are interested in the app for the list builder, they're just going to drive them right back to whatever people were using before. They're going to drive them back to using Battlescribe or Army Builder, if that's even still around, or whatever other third-party tools out there, instead of looking at this as an opportunity for, like, imagine you're sitting on your toilet, you're building a list, and you're like, oh, I wonder how this this one unit that I've never played before. I don't even know. I wonder how that would fit into a list. And you build your list, and you've got your list built. Like, oh, actually, that fits pretty well. And you have access to the free data card, so you can see the rules. You know what it does. You're like, wow, this unit would really work out pretty good. Imagine if you built that list and everything is good to go. With a free list builder, you're like, oh man, but I don't own that model. And they had something not egregious, but they had a little link on the side that says, takes you to the Games Workshop website and puts that item into a shopping cart for you.
Or at least just takes you to that unit on their site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a missed opportunity for them to be actually. I'm looking at this as a
They need to be more
salesperson.
proactive, is what you're saying, more or less.
Right. They're instead of trying to treat because the list builder is good. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that they got right with how they switched over to power level. But the list builder is good. By the simplistic point system they have, but to lock that behind a paywall when it's actually pretty darn easy just to write list out on a spreadsheet, since it's just, drag and drop effectively.
Yeah.
I just think it's a missed opportunity. I really do think it is, because that's just going to gatekeep something. It's going to drive people to others' resources, and
some people to another game.
Right. You look at the major games out there. Atomic Mass Games, they have free list building tools. Parabellum, with Conquest, a handful of others that are out there. I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but they all have free list building tools.
Is Age of Sigmar still free? There was a web-based one that was free.
If you scroll back up to the top of the Warcom website, you can still get access to their free web builder, their free list building tool. It's right there on the top, list building tools.
Yeah, War Scroll Builder. That's still free.
The reason why it's still free is because they're trying really hard to get more people playing Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. They know they have everyone for 40K.
Right. They're trying to hold the 40K players captive for that extra, $7 a month out of them, just to get access to a list builder, which I just don't think makes a whole lot of sense.
I agree.
BattleTech, yep. Colossus, Tryhard just brought up BattleTech. Sorry. So I don't know. I just think it's a missed opportunity for them to actually turn that into a sales channel, as opposed to just being an annoying cost to their customers.
Yeah,
And even looking at their financials, like, how many millions of people do you think play Warhammer 40K? And they're bragging about having like 120,000 subscribers on the app. That's like what, 0.01 of your player base?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, for now, let's move on. We have some models to look at. First of all, we have Mr. Tryhard himself sent us a model to have a look-see. Boop. We're going to do a different picture. That one's bad. All right, that one's better. Sorry, Tryhard. Some of these are rough. And yeah, it looks like we got a Forge Fiend with all the upgrades because they're free. Let's see, I'm guessing this is Iron Warriors, considering he's all iron. And we have the Hazard Stripes right here.
He said he was using a flashbang to light the picture.
I will say that your Hazard Stripes are very straight. They're very well done. I will give you that. They're good contrast. It's the right color yellow, and it's a very straight line in between. So I definitely will give you that. And I like the lava base. I like the lava base a lot. Let's see. The little bits of green though. What are those? Is that just... Oh, that's just fire? Is that what that's supposed to be? Fire? Looks like fire. I don't know if I agree with the green. I like the burn on the smokestacks. The metal burn.
I like the fact that he he didn't go with straight black. I can see a lot of purple and
Warfire.
blue tones. Yeah.
Yes, I do see that a lot. Um, I was only saying with the warp fire just because you already have the lava, so it's a little incongruous to me. But and the green kind of sticks out in the not good way. But other than that, it's your choice on that one. I like the purples. I do like the purples. Your OSL here on the purples are nice. I like the flesh that you have this like Rakarth flesh for the little bits around the mouths. There's several. What do you think, Frank?
I think that the model has an excellent color palette. I like the balance. It's mostly a lot of neutrals, but then you have some really nice pops of color in there. The base itself is a very has a lot of desaturated tones in there, but it still conveys the fact that it's lava. That when you combine that with the fact that the rock itself also has a lot of purples and blues in there, there's a really nice contrast going in. I would have liked to see just a little more saturation in the base itself. Probably just a little more use of a saturated yellow to really kind of make the lava pop. It could be the lighting. I admit that entirely. It could be just from the photo, an artifact of the photo. The biggest thing I'm a fan of here is just the overall color palette. The choices of colors were very good in terms of the hues. And also, I would say for your OSL sources, the plasma coils and the flames themselves, again, could be just an artifact of the lighting in the picture. I do feel like there should be more white included in that, just to kind of give it a better sense of illumination, and also as a heat source for those plasma coils. Let's see. But other than that, it's a very well painted miniature. Excellent, very high. I'd say it's a high quality tabletop model. The washing down on the metals looks very good. Looks very believable. Like it feels like a greasy, oiled up monstrosity.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that quite a bit. It's very readable, and I can't say enough about the choice of the colors. A lot of nice oranges, yellows. You got some nice pops of color in there for some contrast with the purples. The Fortune is sorry for what he did to your Terminators. Oh, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. Let's see.
I think what I would say that I would like to see on him is more hazard stripes. The two on the arms is cool. I don't know, and I realize Iron Warriors is usually only on the shoulder pads, but like I don't know. I just feel like it maybe like a leg. I just feel like you needed one more set somewhere just to hammer it home. I think.
You know what would have looked cool?
And break it up.
Yeah, you know the piping that goes from the plugs into the skull ports off the side of the gun. That might have been a cool place to put a little bit of that extra hazard striping on there.
Or even like up the neck on that armor plating. I was thinking.
I think that kind of takes away though from the more biological feel of the model though. Like
or just on the shoulder pads.
I think for this one, I see what you're saying about adding some more hazard striping. I just don't know if I would have, me personally, because I've painted a Fortune before, and if I was doing an Iron Warrior one, I don't know if I would want to put the hazard stripes in the shoulder pad.
I don't know. I just felt like it needed more to break up the metal. I don't know. Just my opinion.
It could help too. Actually, I think that if you have your miniature in an environment where there's a lot of different like the lava itself is going to have a certain overall ambient glow, and then you've got different colors. I think what may actually help this model along is um, the colors are good in terms of the gold, the silvers, but I probably would add just a little more color to the shading.
And more
Maybe on like
and more cowbell as
and more cowbell, yeah, obviously, but like you kind of have this blue cavernous feeling with the rock. Maybe instead of using like a Nuln Oil shade, we could use like a Drakenhof color or like a bluer ink, just to add a little bit of variety to the metal. I think maybe that might have helped for some color pop. Um, and then on maybe use like a Carolberg Crimson or something to that effect for the washing and the shading for the lower portions. But that's kind of just to, take the miniature up a little bit further. Overall, I think it's a great tabletop piece.
yeah, agreed. All right. Now we can move on to something from. There we go. From our good friend Mr. Rich on our team and his sisters.
Yep, these are his custom color scheme. He calls them the Order of the Pumpkin Spice. So these are the. I just love the joke behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows the nickname that sisters tend to have. The basic bolter gals. And I love the fact that he decided to go with, well, they're basic, so we're going to go with a pumpkin spice theme.
That, and because his army used to be purple and black, and anytime he'd go for a paint judge, they just would overlook it because it was such a desaturated color scheme. So he went the complete opposite.
Yeah, he actually asked me for advice one time, and he was just like, well, I got advice saying that my colors need to pop more vibrant. Well, I said, well, go for a complementary color scheme. And I said, like, for example, if you did like an orange or a turquoise or a purple and a yellow, he's like, oh, orange and turquoise. And he just ran with that.
Yeah, right?
Orange and blue.
Hard. Well, anyway, now that we are looking at his stuff, let's get nitpicky. So I believe this is a priest. This first model he has here. Well,
this is more of an army review, by the way, not
Yeah.
just a miniature. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say from seeing a lot of his models personally and looking at like this model here and the other sisters he has, well, number one, most of his army is the older models. He has an almost completely metal sisters army. This guy, which again I believe is a priest, I think the thing that sticks out the most to me is the skin.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
It is orange. Mostly because it doesn't pop out from the rest of the orange.
Have a good night. Try hard.
Later.
I agree. Yeah, the skin is far too orange, and it just gets lost in that orange scarf.
Because like the book looks good, the orange and the blue look good. I just even on if it was a blue scarf and orange, the skin's a little too tan, what's it? No, that'd be bad to say. It's a little too previous president for me. It's too unnaturally orange.
It does look like he spent a lot of time in the spray tan booth.
Yeah. And it throws it off a little bit. But other than that, the model looks good overall, and it's just that tends to be his thing with a lot of his sister's models. Is the skin's just that kind of chestnutty, like spray tan looking color. And then we have his Rhino. Now this thing, I love how his vehicles come out because he does the quartered look, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, unfortunately he couldn't join us live for the stream, but I'm pretty sure he does it using a taping method.
Yeah. And I believe he uses inks actually to do his orange. He's told me that before. To get the base orange, and then it might be a dry brush. I think it's a dry brush with a lighter over the rest of it. And then he recessed shades. He has to drill out his bolters though.
I don't drill my bolter holes. I just don't. I just can't be bothered to do it. I don't know why. It just. I think I tried it once and it was such a tedious process. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Much dishonor.
Yeah, well, they don't get entered into Golden Demon, so I don't care.
And then they look a lot different. The old Repentia.
I love the pops of pink with the roses and the lens colors.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. No, the overall, it looks good. All right, we have The Exorcist. That's what I think. Oh, sorry. Ugh. I think I have some thoughts on this one. What do you think, Frank?
Well, you go ahead and state your thoughts first while I think about it.
All right. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of the metal.
That's kind of what I'm focusing on too, but I think I have a particular thought towards it. Go ahead.
I don't mind it on the side where he makes the fleur-de-lis, like that bone color, the white. I think he should do that for all of the iconography. I think this should be that cream color. The left side on the left panel should be the cream color. I think that he should have made the pipes, the missile launchers, a different metal color, or like a silver rather than a gunmetal. I don't know. It just, or like make them chrome or something. It just strikes me as off. And then again, any of the iconography, I think he should have done with the same way he did that fleur-de-lis on the side. What do you think?
I'm very, very similar thought. I wasn't thinking necessarily the bone color, although that would look pretty cool. And if he's trying to go for a high contrast paint scheme, carrying that bone color onto the sculpted features, it could work. It could give it a vibe as being like this is a relief that is added on, like it's made of marble or some sort of highly polished stone
or ivory or something.
Or ivory, yeah. I was initially thinking that it would have looked cool if, like, focusing around the front of that Exorcist, if it was made of a bronze or a brass color or even a copper color, but I was thinking more bronze or brass.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives an opportunity, especially like this is probably just some lucky positioning here where you have the orange side is behind the sculpted the relief of the angel, or I'm assuming it's supposed to be like the living saint. Because it's on the orange side, and then you painted that with like a brass or a bronze color, or even a copper color, it gives you the opportunity to then go ahead and work in some blue-green turquoises in terms of adding some verdigris and adding just a touch of weathering and age.
I was actually gonna say when you're saying like the oranger metals, or the yellow metals, I wasn't gonna like that too much because of it blending in. But yeah, now that you say the verdigris, I could see that.
Yeah. Because looking at that particular sculpture as well, or the sculpted relief, it is cracked, so that definitely does also give me vibes of probably being some sort of inlay, or I'm trying to think I'm not sure of the correct terminology of this, so I apologize.
Inlay is right.
Well, that whole sculpture there, it's cracked, so that could very easily be made of an ivory or like material, or even a marble.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you had painted took that as an opportunity to add some more blue greens there, maybe some jade green colors, and then had some thin line white striping across to make it look like a marble, and then it would have that cracked marble effect. It's more opportunities for color,
right?
And I think the metallics do come off as being a bit dull, for the lack of variety in terms of the color, as well as lack of variety in terms of the different metallics it could be made out of. And again,
Right.
the missile launcher tubes, the pipe organs, if you've ever seen a real pipe organ in real life, I'm pretty sure the pipe organs are actually made of brass.
I'm pretty sure too. Or if they are a metallic color, they're shiny, like they are bright silvery.
I'm not necessarily concerned about like how bright and shiny, because this is a tank. It's in a battlefield. It's gonna get dirty. I think I would have liked to have seen, again, go back to what I said before, an opportunity to include more color variety by making them a brass color, and then when you're going through your washing process, you can use the Vallejo, not Vallejo, excuse me, I don't know why I said Vallejo, the Citadel and Neolac oxide,
Yeah.
and that would add some really distinct coloring and help the overall um, brightness of the model come out too, because there is a certain degree of contrast here where you have these very, very bright colors, and then you have the very dull neutral colors of the silvers and the blacks and the browns, and that does provide a contrast. I don't think it provides the right contrast though.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's anything I would fix on this, it's definitely those. Now, like I said, I like the ivory, but just because the Florida leaves are like that. But no, I could see the verdigris though.
I think the ivory makes a lot of sense too, and it'd be a simple process to make that stand out. You'd just use a little bit of not Ushab T-bone, but the one that's a step above it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
I
Screaming
have it.
Skull?
I have it right here. It's called Ice Yellow
But yeah,
Magic in a Bottle.
I think that if went in and you paint that with some bone colors, and if you wanted to keep it simple, some bone colors like Ushab T-bone, and then there's the one that's one step above it. I want to say it's called Screaming Skull. You could also, if you do have access to a color like Ice Yellow, you can easily mix your own brighter version of that. Um, then some simple white highlights,
Mm-hmm.
and then you wash the entire thing down with some Seraphim Sepia.
And hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. What if he did this? What if he did all the iconography and stuff in the ivory, and then he went back and he made the tubes brass, but then verdigrised the tubes.
I think that would work either way. It's just too much plain, flat-looking silver. I think that is the biggest improvement you can make on a model like the Exorcist here.
Yeah,
It's just to really sell those details.
I agree. And then, Rich, what I want you to do is I want you to go to AC Moore. I want you to buy yourself one of these. It's called a micro pen. And I just want you to scribble on all of your purity seals. That's all I want you to do.
Or at least use some transfers.
Yeah. That too. Um, we're ribbing. Rich is a friend of ours. We're just ribbing him.
Well, I do want to say Rich told me very very specifically. I actually have his private message right here. Let me pull it up.
Oh right, he said it could be harsh, right?
Yeah, he's like, be harsh so he can get better. Well, he said be harsh and be honest. And so being honest, I think that's the big thing here, is that you haven't when part of it is the fact that these models are very very engineered. I think this is still the old metal ones too.
It
isn't
is.
it?
This is the old metal one. The new one has way more crap on it.
Okay, so that's what I would think is when it comes to trying to get awards for best painted armies and things like that, and trying to get the attention of judges. The color scheme is good. You got the color scheme down pat in terms of the overall arcing color scheme. But sell the details. You don't have to paint them incredibly well, but make the details stand out. And I don't know if you get gobs of these when it comes to the extra bits and detail, little detail or narrative bits, greeblies, whatever you want to call them. But what would be pretty cool is if you can get your hands on, or even have somebody 3D print you, like,
Cherubs?
not cherubs, but just like candles, like melted
Oh
wax.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe try and play up the religious significance of the tank itself too, as not only being an instrument of war, but also an instrument in the religion.
You don't want more lobotomized vat-grown babies?
No,
Oh,
I do
okay.
not.
Oh, all right.
A great example of this is actually that model you showed off before, that Pontifex character
Oh yeah.
on the Palanquin. All over that model, there were these melted or burning candles.
Yeah.
I'm not saying cover the model with that type of stuff, but like in the picture this pictures you hold is right above the fleur de lis. Right there's that blank blue space in that between the fleur de lis and where the pipe organ is. That's another great opportunity for some color variety where you can put like a red wax candle, like what TJ's showing on the stream right now with the Pontifex, and have that a little bit of extra color contrast. You can even paint it a magenta color or something similar to your pink. Just more opportunities for color variety.
Agreed. Otherwise, I mean, I still like the Exorcist. Do you have the? Yeah, I wonder if you have the operator. I'd like to see her put it back on there.
Oh yeah, actually he's got candles in the pulpit there. That's right there. Okay, so those candles that he's showing right there, that's another great opportunity. I would paint those candles probably a saturated red.
Yeah.
Just for that extra color pop there, because I didn't even realize they were candles because the color in the candles and the color of the parchment are so similar in this picture. I just didn't even register that there were candles there at first.
All right. Well, let's go take a look. He's got Celestine next. Now this is the first of like one of the newer models. And she does look good, especially like across the table. She is very eye popping, especially with the wings on her. And if you look real close, he did try to do some OSL here with her eyes.
I think it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The picture on that's a little rough.
Yeah.
It does look pretty good in person. Rich, when you come back to watch this later, as soon as you're going to watch it on replay, I'll have to show you how to do a little bit of glazing so you can get a better blend on something like those large flat wings.
Oh, yes. Now the Celestine that I did it with an airbrush, but you can make them almost as smooth if you do enough glazing. It'll take a while, but man, enough glazing will make these wings just pop that little bit more.
Oh, that or I'll have to, actually probably be an easier tabletop method is if just going with some two brush blending.
Yeah, no, that could work.
Yes, go with a little bit of wet blending or some two brush blending. That would probably help you get that transition moving a little bit better. Also, I would like to see better edge highlighting on these wings because Sisters models don't typically have a huge amount of really hard defined lines and edges.
Yeah.
But I definitely think a nice line, almost yellow edge highlight.
Oh yeah, on the actual there. Armor. Yeah. This top part. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, the tricky part though is that once you do it on the wings, you're gonna have to find all the hard lines and also touch them up. But yeah, a little bit of some better edge highlighting would also really help this model out.
Well, Celestine fortunately isn't over 20 years old, so it's a little bit easier on this model. But yeah, also what I would say on the wings, if you were going to do anything with the wings, I think you need to extend the white and the lighter blues a little bit further, just for a little bit more pop. That's just my opinion.
I actually was going to say the exact same thing. There needs to be more white on those wingtips.
Yeah. I think you bring the white down a little bit more. Maybe not double it, but like 50% more white on each tip. And then just bring the lighter blues down from that.
Yeah, and same thing. I would also say some edge highlights.
Yeah,
like you can edge highlight those wings with two colors. From the black up until your mid color blue there, you use that exact color mid-tone blue as an edge highlight all in the inner parts of the wings, and then you switch to almost a pure white up through the rest of that mid-tone blue right up to the tip.
Yeah, I'd use the middle blue, right? That one.
Yeah, yeah, that mid-tone blue right there. He's
Yeah,
got going on.
yeah, that.
I'm moving my mouse cursor on my screen as if you can see what I'm looking at. I'm such an idiot.
You can see what I'm pointing at, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pointing at the run. Yeah, that one, and then you just do that up until that starts, and then you do the white the rest of the way. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Um, and then micro pen, for her tassels here. I'm not saying you have to go in there and draw fleur de lis and stuff like that. No, I ain't expecting anything. That's tough. I can't even do that very well. But
transfers,
yeah,
transfers
you
all
could
the way.
definitely transfers. I can pick up every small script transfer that you have for your sisters and just all the way down. Uh,
Well, I wouldn't even say that. The Micron pen is a very good tool to have for that.
mm-hmm.
Um, the if you're going to go with the route of doing a Micron pen and you're going to put transfers on there, I highly recommend getting a bottle of AK Interactive matte varnish afterwards, though.
Yes.
And you're going to have to brush on several coats of that stuff to blend it all together. Speaking of which, how'd you like the AK Interactive matte varnish?
Oh, I've been using it through the airbrush. It's awesome. I think I like the feeling of it better. I have more control over it instead of like using the rattle can. Yeah, I think I'm just going with that now.
Nice.
I'll still take that can of whatever the testers if you have it, but yeah. Let me think. Other things on here. The sword. It needs to be a color, not gunmetal.
Yeah, that would be a great opportunity for you to add more pink into the model.
The problem is with the roses, but like I would even make the roses a different color at that point. Maybe make the roses white and then just go pink down the sword.
Could be, or you know what? Just even if we keep it simpler than that, the hilt and the pommel should be probably I'd like to see it as a yellow metal, bronze, gold, brass, something different.
Yep.
Not copper, but yeah, bronze, gold, brass.
Stay more to the lighter yellows, I would say.
Yeah, and then this would be a situation or circumstance where I would say, because of the nature of the character, a high chrome steel.
I could see a high chrome steel.
Yeah, or like Vallejo aluminum.
I almost want to say, just because of all the other colors, a bright green, but that might contrast too hard.
But I don't think I'd dislike it though if it was a green.
Yeah, just a contrast real hard with everything.
Even if you just kind of played up. Okay, so this would be getting a little technical. If you kept the tip of the sword even that dark gunmetal color, but you just kind of made the lower 2/3 of it a brighter color. Now you'd want to try and blend that out a bit, make it seem like the sword tip is in shadow, but the part closer to where the power line is on the power sword, and you add some color in there, some greens or some blues. Doing that, or even that lightning power sword effect. I think that would go a long way to make this model pop a lot better too.
Yeah. And I like her with like white hair, but that's just me. It doesn't really matter because it kind of makes her pop out a little bit more.
I'm fine with the dark hair. Like the dark hair in this one doesn't bother me because there's so much brightness in the model itself. I think the dark hair actually does a good job of framing the face, and also kind of makes that the pink eye glow sell a little bit better.
No, you're right.
But yeah, it's just this is a model that I think that just following up some basics, a little bit better blending in the wings, some edge highlighting, get the parchment paper, get some detail on that, and just up that sword.
And then again, the skin is too orange for me. Especially her, I like her pale because of what she is. You know what I mean? Like, but also because of the orange armor.
Yeah, it's just too much orange overall. I agree that it should be a paler color tone. even if you kind of worked up from like a lighter, I would have one suggestion for you, Rich, when you're going through. Try a different base color for your skin tones, and this is going to sound crazy. Don't go with a brown, like a Bugman's Glow or anything like that. It's too much orange. Try something a little crazy. Try like almost like a lilac or a lavender purple.
I was about to say purple, yeah.
Try a lilac color or like a lavender purple color, and then you build up from there using off-whites, very desaturated, high-value yellows like ice yellow, and you'll get an interesting shadow color that will play well against the orange, because orange has yellow in it, and yellow is pretty close to being a complementary color for purple.
Yeah. I have two more things I want to say. Number one, the symbols on the shoulder and the leg wrap and stuff like that. If you're going to make things, I understand staying away from yellow metals. That's a good idea with your color scheme. But when you do use the silvers and it's not just like a mechanical bit, make them bright. I think her shoulder symbols and stuff should be maybe not like chrome, but like a silver. I think.
I would almost like to see them be that same bone color.
Or that. No, yeah, we could just keep going with the bone and making it all look like it's ivory. I think that's a good idea. And then my last thing here, and this is just my suggestion because I like that with the birds. I think we need to define the burbs a little bit. My favorite way of doing that is you can even keep them the white they are now. Literally keep them the white they are now. Put a blue shade on them. Or a wash. A blue wash. It could be Drakenhof Nightshade. It could be Blue Tone from Army Painter, which is what I use. Just do that. Alright? And then just dry brush it white.
A great color to pick up for shading white. I do. So there's the contrast. I think it's called Holy. No, I'm thinking of the Army Painter version, which is called Holy White. But there's a contrast white, which I don't like too much because it's very gray and it comes across as very dingy.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a contrast paint that is a very light blue gray. I think it's intended as kind of like a Space Wolf color. I have the Army Painter version of it, and it's fantastic for shading whites. You know, I think that's a great way to go. It actually incorporates a little bit of blue while being very desaturated and very gray at the same time. It just works wonders for white.
Yeah, I think, is it Apothecary White?
Apothecary White is the contrast paint, yeah. But I don't like the Apothecary White. It's too gray.
The Space Wolf's gray.
Yeah, the Space Wolves one. You thin that down quite a bit, just so it has a hint of that color. It plays very well with white, pure whites.
And heck, to do the wings, you could just use Aethermatic Blue to
Dingle just chimed in saying Fenrisian Gray. Yeah, Fenrisian Gray is the layer paint. You can certainly make a wash out of that, or you can just get contrast medium and mix your own color that way. But yeah,
either way. But those are my thoughts on this on her, and I mean she's quite often the centerpiece of the army. So I would make sure if any model has all the work into it, her. Or Vol, because I know you use Vol a bunch.
I kind of wish that he showed off his procession model. That one I think is he did a phenomenal job with that. I kind of wish we had that here in the example.
And then the last example here is one of the basic sisters.
I feel like the same criticisms kind of apply here.
Yeah, it's the skin that's killing me here. I don't like the blue symbol on the bolter. I think you either make it that bone or you make it silver. But yeah, it's kind of the same criticisms here. Otherwise, it's fine. I just don't like the skin. Any other thoughts, Frank, on anybody here?
Nope, I think we covered everything that I would like to talk. I would approach as a topic there.
Yeah, it's kind of
Similar criticism, similar thoughts.
yeah, it's kind of tough on some of the older models because they're old and thus less detail. But yeah, those are our thoughts. Now, lastly, so waiting for this one. We have an intercessor from Kyle, my brother. He wanted us to take a look and see what we think. Now, from what he told me, he did this. It's not done. The model is not done.
So it's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress. He knows he needs to like up the red a little bit and stuff like that. That
was my immediate first thought. Red's too dark.
Yeah, and his gold is not done. He said, he's got some cleanup, but this is a test model, and this is pretty much slap chop. He's trying to do a slap chop method on it.
I think he's doing great. I'll have some commentary on the actual dry brushing itself, but overall, I think it looks great. But you go first, bud, since you're intimately more familiar with his Dark Angels.
So what I did tell him was that obviously the red needs to pick out a little bit more. I think let's see. So I'm not a fan of his gold. I don't of the gold, like on the shoulder pads especially, but because I think he's like veteran or something like that. But like the gold is bothering me, and I can't put my finger on why.
Is that gold metallic paint?
Yes.
Okay. I think I might be able to articulate it because I did have a similar thought or a similar issue. Oh, I could see the gold a bit more. Okay, it's the shoulder pads I think are kind of throwing it off.
Yeah. It was that his purity seals look fine. I think he needs to go when he does his... So he told me how he primed it. So he primes it black, then he primes over that with gray, and then he dry brushes the white. Because he doesn't really have an airbrush or anything. But I think he needs to do more of a lighter gray. Not like a lighter spray with the gray. I need more contrast here. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, the green armor is reading as... I'm not sure what color green he's using, but the green is reading as very... It reads more like a gray to me than it does a green. I'd like to see a little more saturation in whatever paint he's using. I don't know if he's using a particular contrast paint, but I think some up in the some a little more saturation in that might come across a little bit better with this contrast method or with this method. Okay. I figured it out. Because he's using such a dark green, the slap chop isn't really reading super well because the dark green is too similar to the black that he has in the recesses.
What
the
if...
tricky... Check out.
Oh no, I was gonna say, what if he did on top of the white when he dry brushes, does a bit of yellow?
So this would be having done a lot of slap chopping because I like to use this for my Marvel models, and I've done it with my Eldar army. I think sometimes people are very afraid to go back in and do extra steps, or not afraid as much as, I'll put some words to it, I'll say it, maybe just feeling a little lazy about it because it's supposed to, they're like, oh, the technique is supposed to be this, instead of actually going in and doing one or two more things that will really help the model sell or sing. So first thing I would say in terms of getting your gradients down a little bit better is the black is fine. In a model like this, it's going to be naturally a little bit darker. I think you need a lot more gray in terms of what you're dry brushing on there. Okay, so keep your process going. You got your black, and then you're priming over it with a little bit of gray, a zenithal prime, and then you go back in, you do your dry brush white. After you put your Dark Angels green down, or whatever that green is that you're using, do once that's all dry, do another dry brush of white, just to really get those edges picked out again, and then pick a brighter green, and then go back over again with that brighter green to add a little more saturation to the model. Now, unless your goal is to try and create some sort of really grim, dark model, again, it's tough because he's not here with us right now to get a feel for what he wants to do. But I would definitely, I would do that. Dry brush white again over the green, and then hit it with a higher saturation green color. Maybe not quite as high saturation as like Orc Skin or the Striking Scorpion green or the Corandrus green, but something brighter to just kind of really get those edge highlights.
Yeah, Orc Flesh would probably be too bright. But yeah, no, I agree.
And as for the golds, I didn't realize that was gold metallic on the shoulders. I just kind of thought that was like just a basic yellow, like a dingy yellow color at first. So I don't know that one. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's just a shading issue or.
Actually, I might say go Orc Flesh. Either Orc Flesh or Corandrus, I think. Sorry, I was just looking at the colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Striking Scorpion green, if you did that one, I think it would read too much like a Salamander unit.
Or Gut Rippa. Gut Rippa's a nice darker one.
There you go. Yeah, something brighter than whatever green you're currently using. Re-dry brush that, after you do all those steps, re-dry brush it white, and then put that green over the model, and then that will really help to add a little more saturation and pop to the color, or to the model itself. Yeah. Even if you just did a, you follow the old adage of head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
And don't get us wrong, Kyle. It's very clean. It's looking good. But that's a good. I think that's some good advice Frank is spitting there.
You can do some really cool stuff with Slap Chop when you start getting into you could do some really fun blends with it too. Just by after you do a layer of color, go back in and dry brush another gray or a white over an area, and then adding in another color. Or this is a little off topic, but you can even do some really awesome wet blending with contrast paints too. Not that this model needs any wet blending, because Space Marines are Space Marines.
Yes, but it is looking good. Again, you need more red. Like, I think you need another layer of red. Probably just Mephiston red, and then give it a line highlight with some orange. And the bolter will look good. Obviously, you still need to do the eye lenses, but the eye lenses, yeah, brighter red for the purity seals.
I'd like to see a maybe even something leaning into the pink.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Or a warm purple.
And the gold, I think you just don't know. It just it for some reason looks weird on the shoulders. It might be the lighting.
You know what? Okay.
Maybe he needs a wash.
That picture, yeah, right there. That picture you're showing. I think it's because the shoulder pad is shaded, but the gold isn't.
That's probably what it is.
Maybe there's just we're just not able to. We can't marry the two together because the gold is so flat, but the shoulder pad does have some shading to it. That might be what it is.
That might be it. Okay. Oh yeah, I think the gold just needs a wash. Either a flesh wash or a sepia wash. And then just one highlight and you're good.
With the red bolter casing, I know you said add another layer of red on top of that. I'd be okay with that red he has going on there. It needs a nice, it either needs a nice bright red highlight or edge highlight, or if he does take it up a notch, probably go into. I don't know if I would like orange as much as I would like a darker pink highlight.
Really, pink. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
I use orange fire for a lot of my reds, but I go for a brighter red usually. Um, that's a Vallejo game color.
I've actually been a much bigger fan recently of trying to use more pinks when I'm highlighting my reds,
Mm.
because um, I think that using pink offers a kind of a more realistic feeling of light reflecting off of red than orange does.
Mm.
And if it looks a little too pink, you can always just glaze a little red over it, and to help knock it back down.
Yeah, but yeah, I think everything Frank was saying there, Kyle, would be what you want to do to improve these guys, and that's literally 2 extra steps
Um,
on the green anyway.
yeah, for the colors, I think that's pretty much about it. I will say, I'm not sure what you're using as for your dry brush. Um, I don't think you have enough moisture though in your. I'm going to stop calling it dry brushing. When you're doing your pre-shading with the brush, I think you don't have enough moisture in the brush. I'm not sure if you're following a certain technique, or if you're kind of going old school with using an old chisel tip brush, or if you're using the more round tip brushes or makeup style brushes. Um, I definitely think that you need to check your moisture control, because there's a lot of granularity in there, and that's probably coming. That's likely happening too, because you're need a little more moisture. What I usually do is after I knock off most of the paint, I dab the brush in the back of my hand, and if it feels cool to the touch, that tells me that there's just enough moisture in there. If it doesn't feel cool to the touch in the back of my hand, I probably need to clean the brush off, get some more water in there, or dab the brush onto a sponge, a damp sponge.
Agreed. But yeah, keep going. Show me an update. Show us both an update.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you've got. Man, I can't wait to see how that show is after they recast Rick and Morty. Um,
I mean, it might be more interested to see the spin-off Rick and Morty that's going to be an anime.
uh, they seriously doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep. There's a trailer for it and everything.
oh, nice.
I think they did hire a Japanese animation company to actually do the whole show. Um,
That's hilarious.
yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Pretty sure you can find the trailer for it out there easily enough.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up our model reviews here. So we can go back to other things. We can take a look at the new Crisis Protocol stuff coming out.
Yes, so that is not the new stuff that you have there. You want to go to. Do, 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 do. Okay. So what they're showing here is. Hold on. Let me. I know, such high quality production here. I think the best thing to go off with here, TJ, is the pictures I sent to you a few days ago, last
I know
Thursday.
it's just hard to pull them up.
I know, I'm such a pain in the butt. I'm sorry.
Let me see here. I'm just gonna grab the models.
So for those of us who are fans of Marvel Crisis Protocol, uh, they made the exciting announcement that there's going to be a new core set. My wife is dancing next to me because she also plays Marvel with me, and I have to say it looks the new core set is looking pretty fantastic. A lot cleaner, a lot better designed, and the miniatures. I think they've definitely learned from their mistakes in the past. These miniatures look so much better than the originals.
So let's see what we got here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. All right. So we got spectacular Spider-Man as opposed to amazing or regular Spider-Man. Winter Soldier. Um,
The Spider-Man minis are so funny too because I think this is the third Peter Parker Spider-Man miniature they have coming out now.
nice. I like the Venom on the bottom. I will say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Invincible Iron Man, the Black Widow, Captain Marvel, and the best, Captain America. He's my favorite.
This is pretty reminiscent of what the original core set was looking like. What's cool though is that this core set actually has more miniatures in it than it did before. Originally, it was 5 heroes versus 5 villains. This is going to be 6 versus 6. It looks like. All the sculpts are significantly improved. Um,
Hopefully, they're easier to put together.
yeah, that's the big thing. Is they need to make sure that these kits are not the nightmare fuel, not the nightmare-inducing or PTSD triggering assembly nightmare that the original models were. Um, so I know that our good buddy Dinglefang is here in the chat. If he's still with us, he's felt that pain of dealing with um, assembling some of these MCP models and how troublesome they can be when you have to glue half of a face onto another half of a face, then have to glue, the hair on top of that.
It just sounds like
Ugh.
Sisters of Battle models. That's all it sounds like. Uh,
On the original Captain Marvel miniature, you had to glue her elbow in.
ugh. God. Well, here's the villains in this new set. We've got Baron Helmut Zemo, Red Skull, Crossbones. Really, Crossbones? Ultron. Oh, some Ultron bots, or well, Ultron drones, and Doc Ock, which I really like the Doc Ock.
Yep, and this is again just the same thing, just a rehash of the original villains from Marvel Crisis Protocol, same exact characters, just new versions of them, and with the addition of the Ultron drones. So very cool in terms of how they're expanding it.
Um, Aside from like Ultron, Red Skull, and Doc Ock, it just seems bland to me. But that's just me. I don't know. For the hang on, I'm trying to pull up the other picture here. For the villains, but there's a good variety in the heroes. Is my point. But I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I'm looking at this more from the fact since I actively play the game. These sculpts are way better, and I also do know that because they went with slightly different namings, my excitement is a little bit tainted by the fact that these are technically also new units that you can field in the game, because that Doc Ock. So there's Doctor Octopus, for example, but that's Doc Ock. So it's two completely different characters technically. So I'm also kind of excited about the gaming side of it too.
Fair. And then it looks like you're also getting X-Men, new X-Men.
That is a mix of the old X-Men models and the new ones. I own most of those miniatures. They do look very cool though. But there's a couple in there I don't think I've seen before. I knew that Jean Grey was a model. I just never seen her model before. So I think that this is more showing off they're possibly fleshing out the X-Men range a little bit.
Because who wasn't in here before? Bishop?
I don't know about Bishop. I'd have to do a little bit of research, but I don't remember Iceman being a model. I think Professor Xavier. I think they're showing off Professor Xavier for the most part here. But it is very cool to see such a the full X-Men roster here like this, with Bishop and Psylocke and Nightcrawler. It's all very cool, and of course these are new miniatures that they are showing off.
Ooh, I like the Electro. I always like Electro. God, I might have to get this set Spider-Man just to give to my dad as like a present, because he loves Spider-Man. It's his favorite, and he loves the Sinister Six.
Oh, well, I think that's a new sub-faction they're introducing. and there's no, I don't think they call them Sinister Six. I think they call them like Spider Foes or something like that. Um, but yeah, it's very cool. That Sandman model actually looks pretty dope.
Yeah. Was it? We had a So I had gotten a while ago. You know how they sell those statues and stuff in hobby shops and things like that.
Hmm.
I had gotten him a whole Sinister Six set for like Christmas and Father's Day. You know what I mean? I bought like one piece each time. He had the whole set. It was great. Um,
Hmm.
and then the glass case that he had it in collapsed.
You know, if you're looking for, I know we're again slightly tangential, but um, oh, there is a really cool kit. I think that if you want to get your father a really awesome present, it is a special kit that is kind of like they're miniatures for the game, but it's also meant to kind of slot into a bit of a diorama. Um, Let me find it here. It's called a rival panel. That's what it
Oh,
is. It's called a. I want to try and see if I can find a good picture of it here. But it comes with a new kind of like a legendary version of Doctor Octopus, same model as in the game, but and then another version of um, Amazing Spider-Man. But it comes on this really awesome diorama display.
mm-hmm.
Uh, I am shooting a picture over to you now. But if you're looking for a present for your dad and you want to paint something for him, that would be a really like, out of the box diorama that you can do.
Ooh, neat.
Let's
Um,
see.
so hang on, I'm gonna pull that picture up just in general anyway. Ah, that's cool. Okay,
Yeah, you can see how the bases slot in for the diorama.
nice. Um, so anyway, the other new models here. It looks like we have the Scarlet Spider. I
Yep,
believe.
Scarlet Spider, and I think that is I can't think of her name right now. The female. Oh God,
I don't know.
it's
It's not.
definitely a symbiote.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely not like Silk or Spider Gwen. Um,
Spider
uh,
Gwen is a model that you can get. She's part of the Web Warriors. She comes with the other Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
um, but it's not. I know it's a symbiote. I can't remember. I can never remember the female symbiotes. Actually, past like Carnage, Venom, and Havoc, I can't really remember who they are. Um,
Let's see
right,
up
it
real
was
quick
Havoc.
here.
It's Havoc who's Carnage's son and gets the it links with the cop.
Let's see here. The female. Oh, I know this makes for super compelling entertainment, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned as TJ and I learn how to use Google. Not even looking at the chat. I'm
Venom,
kind of wondering.
Carnage.
So there's Scream, Agony, Lasher, or sorry, Scream and Agony. So I wonder if somebody in the chat actually said it's this person. I'm just not looking at the chat. No, okay. That could be Scream or Agony.
Yeah, Scream, Lasher. Yeah, it's probably Scream or Agony. Um. Oh well, whatever. Still cool models and Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley, right? Yeah,
That's definitely Ben Riley, one of the clones of Peter Parker.
yeah, he's definitely a cooler. I always liked that design. My dad always liked his comics. But yeah, no, that's cool. They're coming out with more Spider people. And then we got. It looks like here's the Doctor Xavier, and then what the heck's his name? He was the one who like wiped Storm's mind when she was little. Um,
Isn't that his brother?
no, his
Or am I
brother is
thinking?
the Juggernaut.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what the heck his name is. Uh, phew. It's probably under Storm. I should probably put in more than just Storm into Google.
You get all the recent weather reports.
Yeah, that was literally what I got. What the heck is this guy's name? That bothers the heck out of me. Because when she was a thief. Xavier helped her. I can't remember, but yeah, he's like he's sort of a magical mutant, and he has this entity that lives in him, inside him, I believe, and can eat the dreams or something like that. He was essentially brainwashing Storm as a child to steal when they were, I believe it was in Cairo,
Hmm.
in Egypt. So that's what he's from. He's a villain. I forget his name. I cannot for the life of me remember what it was, but
Okay, so I found a little more news articles on this. So it's Bishop and Nightcrawler are the two new X-Men that are coming out.
oh, cool. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
so those are
that
definitely new.
Bishop and Nightcrawler. Cool, cool, cool.
That's what they're showing off there. So I guess it's about kind of them showing off the
Not
new.
Professor X.
I think Professor X is new.
Prof-
Oh, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked by pretty models. There's a diorama coming out that's similar to the Doc Ock and Spider-Man one, but it's Black Panther versus Killmonger on this really cool like giant panther rock with a waterfall coming down it.
Mm.
Um, Shadow King.
Shadow King. That's I knew there was a king in there. I just couldn't. Ugh. Either way.
Oh, okay. We were both wrong about who that is, but you were kind of right. It's not Spider Gwen, it's Gwenom.
Ah.
Yeah, so that is definitely Scarlet Spider, but it's Gwenom, which
I just like the pun.
so yeah, that's what that is
Gwenum.
Gwenom. Yep, and then okay, yeah, and also I'm sorry, Iceman and Kitty Pryde are also the other two
Oh,
X-Men
okay.
models. Yeah, I didn't think Iceman was out yet, but I'm like I think that's Kitty Pryde. I wasn't sure, but yeah, it's Iceman and Kitty Pryde. Nightcrawler and Bishop are the four new X-Men models coming out. Professor Xavier, the Shadow King, a gorgeous Black Panther versus Killmonger diorama, and of course the new core set itself, which has terrain that is far better than the stuff that comes with normally. I'm a little bit jealous of that, but you know, I'll just have to see if my wife will be nice enough. I'll have to justify this as a couple's expense now since we both play.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I think that pretty much covers everything for tonight, bud.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we can wrap up a little early, since we usually go over late. Um, but yeah, if anybody else out there would like to have us review their models, please feel free to email us, um, to submit your models, or you
Oh,
can.
wait. Hold on one second. I just saw, I missed this before in the chat. Dom, don't buy another game without buying the core set. You do this every time. You buy like 3 models and you're like, I want to play this game, but you don't own the core set. You don't have the cards. You can't play the game. Buy the core set this time, Dom. Buy the core set.
It's fair. Um, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, you please submit more models to us if you would like them reviewed. We do like to give some advice on that stuff. And Otherwise, Frank, did you have anything else? Do we want to inform on how the next couple weeks are working? Because you got.
Oh, yes. So as we get closer towards the end of the month, I will be traveling for Nova. We haven't quite decided yet. We may do like a very brief stream where it might be live streaming from Nova while I'm setting up for the tournament. I have to just make sure that if we do decide to do that, that's going to be okay with some of the staff that's going to be there. And I wouldn't expect a super high quality stream in terms of audio quality because I'll be roaming around the convention center with my phone, but we might be able to get a little something going on there just to kind of show off what the event hall and stuff pre-Nova. Maybe show off a little bit of the convention hall as we're getting everything set up. And I believe it was the 23rd. So next week we're doing a stream on the 16th. The 23rd we are not going to be streaming because we have some business to attend to.
Some big business.
Some big business. Hopefully some really positive changes coming for the stream. As we've always said, we're working on trying to improve this. We're working on. We might have some fun stuff in the pipeline, but TJ and I need to sit down for like a good 2-3 hours to hash things out. The 30th is when I'm going to be in Nova. So the 16th is going to be a normal stream, and then the 6th in September we'll start back to normal streaming. The 23rd we will be off, and the 30th may just be a very brief special stream.
And I will put out a warning now. I realize it's a little bit further out, but once we get to the end of October, I am officially on baby watch. So the possibilities of a cancellation are in there, depending on when little Phoebe wants to. I know.
I didn't know her name.
Oh yes, her name is going to be Phoebe.
Oh, that's a cute name. My wife's right here. Hold on, let me tell her. They're naming the baby Phoebe. She says it's pretty.
Phoebe Luna.
Phoebe Luna. That's a cute name.
We discovered after we picked the name that it was a Greek name, and it's a Greek goddess, and it also means light. So we went with Luna because it's moonlight.
Oh, there you go. That's a clever little pun on her name. And you're naming her based on a dad joke. You're already a student for this.
We also figured out because my mom got Cole, or Mila, my fiance, a little thing for her son Cole, and it describes his name, and it's like, so his name is also Greek. It's his name is Cole Nicholas. His middle name is Nicholas, right? You know what Cole is Greek for?
No.
Nicholas.
His name is Nicholas.
Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that until my mom got him that little thing, and it's just, it's not a big deal. I keep, every time I look at the little placard, I laugh, and it's funny.
Oh, you gotta give him a nickname now. You gotta call him like Nick or something.
I know. His name is Nicholas or Cole.
There you go. Yeah, I'd start calling him Nick.
Nick.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, we didn't grow up in the 90s at all. All right.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, again, we had another fun, successful stream. We will be back next week. I will be fresh off of vacation, so I'll be fully prepared. And yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out with us and chatting. I hope you had a fun time, and we'll catch you all next week.
Yes, catch you all next week. Also, remember, if you get a chance, check out Try Hard 40K's channel. He had me on this week, so get that video in. And we appreciate everybody, and have a nice week.
Have a good night.
All right.